welcome to episode 4 of the MMG podcast. My name is Chris, and I am joined by my good friend Gocubs 711.
And this is Big Brother.
Oh, wrong podcast, my friend.
Shit.
We'll do that next episode. But until then, welcome everyone to one of many non-sports related podcasts. Yay! Because sports are over and the ending sucks, and we don't want to talk about any of them. We're gonna just move on. We're gonna move on to some of the things that we are very passionate about outside of sports, which is gaming. And E3 took place. Or is taking place through Tuesday through Thursday, but they finished up with all the conferences, and we felt like we could do a quick little recap, a little general synopsis of what we saw, what we enjoyed, some of the big titles that were announced, and we'll go in order of the conferences, and we'll see what we can talk about. We should let you know. We're big Nintendo nerds, so that'll probably take up the bulk of the podcast near the end. But we will address everything else at this point. I try to watch every single one just in case there's something that intrigues me to buy it. And I think there was many instances of that, so I want to make sure I talk about those as well. So let's go back to Saturday last week.
Alrighty.
Which EA was the start of the podcast.
They didn't announce any My Sims.
Yes, we are huge fans of the My Sim series, and that unfortunately that series died a very tragic death in essentially a plane crash, if you want to put it that way. That
game ended in a plane crash somehow.
Yeah, that's pretty much how it ended up. But meanwhile, I had to remind myself a little bit. I have to do a quick little bit of research here, because I completely forgot a lot of what the stuff they talked about. Oh, all right. So the first thing I want to talk about with EA is a game that means a lot to me, a game that means a lot to this channel, which. Oh, you know what? We just went on about how we're not going to talk about sports, but here we are. EA was the sports conference, and we started out with Madden, and Madden NFL 18, which is going to be coming out for the first time only to the newer generation consoles, so no more PS3. I don't know if they've been releasing for Xbox 360, but I don't think they're going to probably be doing it this time. I am very excited for this particular game because they actually announced a story mode for it. Now, I'll be honest, the story looked alright. I mean, I'm not. When I saw what they had for FIFA, FIFA was the first time they tried out this whole story mode in the sports game. It looked awesome. It looked really good. I felt like with this story mode, it kind of played on a lot of the tropes we see in football media and just what we see with these stories, oh, he's a long shot to make it, and he ends up making, and they talk about adversity, everything, and to me it made me want to vomit a little bit because I was like, wow, this is really they could not have changed it up a little bit. They had to go along the mainstream storyline that everyone would love. I guess it's because it's marketable, but was not the biggest fan of it. But I'm excited about it. About it. Now the main game that I wanted to talk about from EA was A Way Out. And I don't know, Gocubs, how much did you know about it to talk? If you wanted to talk about it a little bit.
Basically, what I saw from it is that it's this co-op adventure game where you're trying to escape from prison, and I like the kind of forced multiplayer aspect of it. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, what's really fascinating about this is it's you can play this online with people. So you guys you could have that normal gameplay aspect of any other multiplayer online game, but you could also play multiplayer side by side with people on the couch. And it's very rare that you see that in a story game, but
Yeah.
you get to do this in a way out. And what's really impressive about what they showed was that at one point, one of the characters could be in a cutscene, going through dialogue, while the other character could be just doing whatever the hell they want. They're not in the cutscene. They could be walking
Nice.
around. They could be breaking into things or whatever. And to me, that's a huge important part of getting multiplayer right, because if you have one player, if you have this cutscene happening and it doesn't really involve the other player, it's gonna be boring. Just kind of sitting there, just waiting for the story for the cutscene to be over, because you're gonna be like, I want this does not revolve around my character. Um, I think that it's going to be a fascinating game, and it's by the same people who made a Tale of Two Brothers. I think it's called.
Oh, really? Okay.
Uh,
Yeah, it's gonna be good.
yeah,
I think it's called Brothers.
is it just called Brothers? Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
I think the what I just said was the longer title. But I think for sure is Brothers. But
Yeah.
regardless, that I remember seeing clips of that game. It plays kind of similarly. It's one player and you
You
play
can
as
kill both of them.
both brothers, right? And then you have to kind of figure out a way to move both brothers and figure out a way to I guess get through the game. I don't know a lot about it, but that's the general concept that I understand from it. But I might try out that game before I try out Way Out, but I know that me and Gocubs we talked about it. We that would be a great game maybe to upload online if we wanted to play, or just play it on our own. But that I think is going to be a very fun game. It is coming to PC. I always worry with EA with PC games, but it is coming to EA to PC rather. So yeah, pretty good. Other ones that they brought up, they talked about Need for Speed. They talked about Battlefield 1, DLC, and I guess the big one that they spotlighted was Star Wars Battlefront 2. I mean,
First,
go ahead.
not like the first, but the first recent Star Wars Battlefront was not good. So
Yeah,
I'm not expecting much from two.
they essentially apologized on stage about that. They were like, "Yeah, we heard we heard the positives, and we heard the criticisms." And then like he kind of like hit his mouth for a second. He was just like, "That means that it was bad." It was fantastic. But hey, you know what? They that shows that a company was paying attention, because sometimes you don't get that a lot. It feels like companies, they don't care what their consumers say sometimes. So that was a nice revealing moment, I guess. Next major E3 press conference was Microsoft and Xbox, and that was a big one.
Guess what?
Yes, what's that?
They revealed the new console.
They revealed new console. What's this?
Guess what else?
What's it called?
Called the Xbox One X. Guess what else?
What else?
If you take X and then box and then one and then X and abbreviate them all, it spells Xbox.
God damn it. I had to think about that, and now I wish I didn't. So there you go. Xbox One X. God, they talked about the specs on this, and we'll get into the specs for a second, but why Xbox One X?
Because new console, and because Microsoft is bad at naming things, and because more power, better games.
Well, but here's the thing, though. They had a good name for this. This was considered Project Scorpio.
Yeah.
And
Project, the code names for consoles always end up being better than the actual console names.
Yeah, I'm very disappointed that they changed that. And the first thing I thought of when I saw Xbox One X, I was like, will this have the same impact of when Nintendo announced the Wii U? Because people heard that. They heard about the Wii U. And obviously most people that really follow games, they knew.
No, it's a different console.
knew it was it for console. But if you just look at it by the name, you think, oh, it's just another version of the Wii. It's not.
Yeah.
You need to go out there for it. That's where I would be concerned for Xbox in that sense.
They probably fucked up.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's too soon to say, because if they're gonna hype the specs as it is, and people are obsessed with that stuff, they're obsessed with graphics, if they hype it enough, I'm sure people are gonna buy it, but I would be concerned about that name, and keeping the Xbox One in there. You saw what happened with Nintendo with the Wii U. And Wii U had its own issues. I mean, I'm not saying
Wii U had a lot of issues.
Yeah, it's not. I'm not saying that the name was the main issue. I'm just saying that was kind of part of the reason why some people did not go out and buy it, because they thought it was the same thing and just had a tablet with it, and there was nothing really much else. So if anyone cares about the specs, apparently here it's 6 teraflop CPU running at...
What the fuck is a teraflop?
I have no idea. At 1.172 gigahertz, 12 gigabytes of GDDRS memory, and 325 gigabytes of memory bandwidth. God. And then the main thing, I didn't really hear it that much during the press conference. Maybe just once. I'm kidding. They said it throughout the whole fucking presentation that it was 4K. They shoved that down people's throats because they wanted people to realize that 4K.
Because if things look good, no one will pay attention to how shitty they play.
Yeah. You and I are of the same feeling of that. It doesn't really matter how good a game looks. If it's a bad game, it's a bad game.
We fucking love My Sims Kingdom. Like, that game doesn't look good at all.
Right. It's a great game, but it's just it's not that great.
All right. Can I jump in on Microsoft real quick?
Absolutely. Yeah.
The one game that I really liked in their press conference was that Lucky game with the little cartoon fox platformer.
Yes. I was gonna bring that up. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And that looked like something different, something unique. I'm probably gonna look into that, mostly because I backed Yooka-Laylee on Kickstarter and was not that impressed with the final result of the game. It's not a bad game by any stretch. I just couldn't get into it. It was too Banjo-Kazooie for me, and I knew it was going to be because it's the same people. But what wasn't a huge fan of the game overall. Might have just been my computer wasn't powerful enough. But yeah. Anyways.
Yeah.
The thing about Microsoft and the Xbox in general is that they don't have a single thing that you can't do they don't have a single thing that you can't do somewhere else. Like, if you have a strong enough computer which can be used for things other than gaming, you can run everything on the Xbox One because it's Microsoft, so they cross-platform everything with like Windows 10 and shit.
Right.
So if I wanted to, I could play Lucky off of Windows 10. I believe. I don't know for sure, but I probably have to make a Microsoft account, and it wouldn't be through Steam. But
yeah, I'm pretty sure you're correct about that.
Yeah. So I don't need an Xbox One to do that.
Yeah.
Any third-party game like Overwatch or Madden or even at one point Kingdom Hearts, I think was gonna be on Xbox One as well, the new one. Those are all available on PS4. So just get a PS4, which also has exclusives to it that you can't play anywhere else, like Uncharted and like Bloodborne, like The Last Guardian. Like there's nothing huge on the Xbox One that you can't have somewhere else.
Yeah.
And I will nothing. There's no way to convince me otherwise.
Yeah, I pretty much agree with you. I mean, you had, I think the one argument over the years was that I think Halo was an Xbox exclusive, if I was correct.
Well, yeah, Halo's been the Microsoft exclusive for a while, but they're not good games anymore.
Yeah, you had to pay really close attention during the presentation a lot of them said that it was an Xbox launch exclusive, but the thing is, it said launch exclusive, so that may mean that maybe when the game is released on the Xbox, it might be the only place to play it. But at one point or another, it might end up on PC. It might end up on the PS4. So to say that it's like this like the main place that you go, I think that's that was something that I noticed a lot during the presentation. I'm sure that there's some other games out there, but nothing huge enough for me to be like, oh, I need to go get an Xbox because this is the only place I can play this big game. Like, there's a lot of it's yeah, I guess Halo would be the only one, but Halo they're not even coming out with a new one yet, and I don't really care about that game personally, but so I saw a lot of that during the Xbox presentation. And
one thing I also liked about Microsoft, sorry for interrupting.
No, it's fine. Go ahead.
Was when they revealed the Ori and the Blind Forest sequel. They had the composer just play piano on stage as the trailer was going. That was fucking awesome.
Yeah, that should be coming out on PC too, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I would like. That's a game, Ori. That looks very cute. I'm a big fan of cute games, so.
Chris. Oh.
Is that an incorrect statement, or is that
No, it's cute, but it's a lot of other things.
All right. I have no idea. I would love to hear more.
Okay,
but
I can tell you after. I don't want to spoil
anything right now. Some other things. Cuphead looked pretty good.
That was like announced like 2014, 2015.
Yeah, I remember seeing that. I remember getting excited about that, but I never heard anything about it. Finally, they did announce something about it. So that was really cool. There are some other ones that they announced. Ooblets. This sounds weird. Ooblets. Now, that game is essentially a combination between Pokemon and Animal Crossing, according to people online. And it's a Steam game, but you could also play it on Xbox, but they're going to say Xbox exclusive, right. Probably. But that looked pretty good. There's a few other ones. I think The Last Night was one of them that I thought was pretty interesting. Something art. I don't have it on this list here of games, but there is another one. There's a few in a row that were very interesting because of how artistic they were. Very artistic games that I absolutely enjoyed. I wish I had this on the list. I'll do a quick search before we. The Last Night and then The Artful Escape. That's it. So those two games look very pretty in their style, not in graphics, but in their style, the way it was designed. And I would be willing to look at those games as well. Sea of Thieves was announced as well. That I think is going to be on PC as well. And Minecraft in 4K.
Whoa. 4K Minecraft.
Can I just say, first of all, Minecraft announced some really cool things. They did announce that they're going to start opening up cross-platform play, which is a big deal. Because that I don't think has ever happened, or it's very rarely that happens. And so that they're going to be doing that, and they also are setting up a super. They call it the super duper graphics pack, which I'm like, really, guys, are you trying? But it looked pretty interesting. This was the first conference where the first time that I was like, God, can we stop talking about Minecraft? Look, I love Minecraft. I'm actually wearing a Minecraft shirt right now.
Of course you are.
But I'm like, can we? And there's a huge community about it. People love the game, but it's like they continue to make it such a main part of these conferences. I'm just like, I think we all get it.
I think at this point, everyone who's bought Minecraft, anyone who would ever buy Minecraft has already bought Minecraft.
Pretty much. I mean, at this point,
obviously, 9-year-old boys, as soon as they turn 9, they get a free copy gifted to them. But
That's the go-to gift.
By Notch or by Mojang.
God, the kid could hate video games, but you know what? For your 9-year-old birthday, you're fucking
You get
getting
Minecraft.
Minecraft. You
From
fucker. You're gonna like the blocks. Mine them. It's just
Punch the tree.
punch it. Oh my
That
god.
fucking crafty table, you piece of shit.
A few more, and then we'll move on. Metro Exodus. People really loved Metro. I don't know a lot about the series, but good for Microsoft to announce that. And Assassin's Creed Origins, which people love that series.
Vince.
Ass in. But I know that a big complaint for, at least I know that one of the people that I follow was saying that, alright, cool, new Assassin's Creed game, but have they ever changed the controls? Apparently it's a completely revamped game though, so who knows, maybe the Ubisoft actually listened.
Let's move on.
Yeah. Oh, and Forza. They announced a Porsche on stage. Yeah, that's cool. All right. Moving on to Ubisoft, and I was very I was expecting at any moment for the Just Dance team to come on. Didn't happen right away, but it finally happened. And it started out with this great robotic dancing sequence, and then it went into Bubble Pop, which I believe is either I don't want to mislabel it. It's either it sounded like a K-pop song,
Gotcha.
but it was, oh boy, that was a fun cringy moment. It was great. I love Ubisoft for that reason. The first game they talked about, which we won't touch on later, but it was announced later as well, which was the highly anticipated Mario's plus Rabbids. Now,
so from what I saw of Mario plus Rabbids, it's Nintendo doesn't have anything to do with it, but it looks kind of like a tactical RPG kind of thing, which is really fucking weird, given the origins of both of the series.
Yeah, people were actually calling it a game, but like a new style, like a different reskinned version of a game, but I can't think of the name of the game at the moment. Regardless of that, though, for what I saw, people changed their attitudes revolving around that game. People thought it was going to be really...
It actually looks kind of good.
Yeah, people actually looked at that and were like, yeah, it looks good. I looked at that and I'm like, alright, I don't know if I would personally get it, but it does look funny. I mean, I've never really found the rabbits funny, but you know, it looks ridiculous when they're rabbits in a Yoshi costume, blaring a gun, going cross-eyed. Like that's kind of funny, you know. That's just silly, weird humor. But regardless of that, go ahead.
One thing that is kind of funny about that game, though, there's this YouTuber that I watch. His name's Rabbid Luigi.
There you go.
In like 2011. Now the official name of the character in the Rabbids game is Rabbid Luigi. So like,
yeah, that's
this dude is like 100,000+ subscribers, probably a lot more, verified on YouTube. Like
that's you have to wonder if Nintendo and Ubisoft teamed up and steal that.
He's legitimately having an existential crisis over all of this.
Especially with the rabbit and like the Yoshi. I don't even know. I don't know if you have it up on your computer right now. I doubt it, but
no.
On the like the poster for it, they have the Yoshi the Luigi rabbit on there. And I don't know why he looks like he's just in a green sock with a Luigi.
Yeah, it's just like a green onesie for no reason.
I have no idea what that is, but regardless, that's a game. Anyway, we move on. They announced the crew. It looked interesting. I wish I was more into racing games, but this one, it looked like any other one really. But alright, so here's another one that impacts this channel because I'll tell you right now, I will be playing it.
I know exactly what game you're talking about.
What is it, Gocubs?
South Park: The Fractured Butthole.
Oh, I love it. Now look, South Park. Uh, it we gotta go, goes. It's all good. But I look at South Park and I enjoy how they push the limit a little bit with their humor. Sometimes they do go too far, but it is that when I played Stick of Truth, that was one of my favorite games that I've played in a while. It was just truly it was a well made game. It reflected a lot of what they have for their show. I mean,
It had anal probing.
yeah, that was the best part. No, but yeah, overall, I thought that the game, as weird as it was, as much as it didn't make sense, it made sense for South Park. I enjoyed it. I loved every minute of it. I actually hinted at possibly returning to Stick of Truth to complete some of the side missions. Maybe you'll see that in the future. Who knows? On my YouTube channel. I'm gonna keep on plugging that.
Yeah.
But no, regardless of that, South Park: The Fractured Butthole is essentially the superhero version of that. They went from the Dungeons and Dragons type, type role playing to superheroes. And it looks weirder than ever, and it looks like it's gonna be just as bizarre and a lot of fun. I don't know if we'll have Nazi zombies again taking over,
Probably not.
but we'll see what happens. I guess. I'm looking forward to it. They actually announced the South Park app. I didn't. It seems like a pay for play type thing, but people apparently want to play the shit out of it. So
There's even a fucking. There was a South Park episode about those exact types of games. So like,
but they're
they played themselves.
Well, right. Well, South Park. I assure you, if you look through all the episodes of South Park, they are all around hypocrites. But they just want to find a laugh no matter what. But yeah, and those are the highlights, I guess. Another game that they announced was Skull and Bones, which is really weird because that was yet another pirate game. Looked like another Sea of Thieves game. It didn't really seem like there was a ton of differences between the two. I think that people noted that in Skull and Bones there might be a Kraken. Fucking, I don't know. I don't really care. So let's move on. Far Cry 5. Now this has gotten a lot of controversy. Recently. Do you know about this, Gocubs?
Yes, because you kill the alt-right in America.
Well, yeah, essentially. It takes place, is this the first time it's on U.S. soil? I don't know too much about the Far Cry series.
Well, like Far Cry in general is like you're on an island, kind of like a indistinguishable non-white / Eastern European island,
right?
And you blow shit up and kill a bunch of people.
Yeah, that's why I kind of knew about Far Cry anyway. But
this was essentially like it takes place in something that's different than America, which is the primary player base of these games, obviously. And it's like, okay, these guys are different than me. Let's just blow them up and kill them. And it was more to give like a tropical feel to it, I guess, which is kind of weird to say. I don't know. But now that it's on America and that it's in America and the people you're killing are essentially Nazis, because I saw like a comparison from art in on the box cover of Far Cry 5 to like Nazi symbols. It's like it's very clearly we're killing the alt-right.
Yeah.
And some people are really upset about that fact.
Yeah, the main thing with that is many people feel like it's giving into, I guess, this PC culture, and and we're not talking personal computer here, by the way. This is political now. This whole PC culture thing where like people are very against like the like I guess the main character was white. I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, well, but anyways, that going in and killing maybe minorities, people might have gotten upset about that. Now it's kind of turned the tables a little bit, going after people that are in the alt-right, people, mostly white people. And people were like, "Well, no, I don't want to kill them." And the main reason was, like you said, was that people were like, "They're the same color as me, or they're the same as me." So it's like killing my own. But one, if you really look at this trailer, this is not just the alt right. This is like cults. These are like evil cults, crazy cults of like that like are trying to brainwash people and everything. Like these are really evil people, and the that is meant to kind of give this vibe of taking down people that are evil, like in any other video game. I don't see what the big deal is. I don't think it should be political at all, but people are going to make it that way.
Yeah.
People find ways to complain.
Let's move on. It's not bad.
Yeah.
The game's going to come out, and those same people are going to buy and play it anyway. So.
And they're going to love it. So yeah, right. Beyond Good and Evil 2 was announced too. That took a while. A very touching moment on stage was the developer. One of the devs came out and was actually crying because how long it took for it to come out, the sequel to come out, and he was glad that it finally was revealed to an audience. So I don't know. Again, another series I don't know too much about, but I can always appreciate people being passionate about what they're working on and finally overcoming any hurdles to get that game out there for people to know about. And then they talked about Steep, which was kind of a bust. So let's talk about the other bigger press conference. Did I miss anyone thus far? Did I skip anyone? I think
I don't believe so.
Yeah, I think now it's just moving on to Sony. Some interesting ones. You had God of War announced. Uncharted was the first one, and by the way, PlayStation they had a rough start to their presser. Not necessarily their presser itself, but the Twitch stream or the stream that was being released for the public to view. The volume was down for the first two presentations.
Oops.
So no one could hear what was happening. But during that was Uncharted: The Lost Legacy was announced. So that's basically, I think, a spin-off of the original Uncharted series. Horizon Zero Dawn, a game that my sister absolutely loves Horizon Zero Dawn. DLC was announced for that.
Nice.
And so
yeah, my roommate got Horizon Zero Dawn, and my other roommate also played it.
It's apparently a fantastic game.
From what I saw, I really enjoyed it. Kind of a bare ending, from what I remember, but really good game.
Yeah, I don't know if I would personally play it, but it seems like a great open world, like just killing machines, and a great storyline too. Apparently, the one game I definitely want to talk about is Detroit. This was a game that they announced last year. That was saying that it was in development. Now they've released more about it, and it gave me vibes of Undertale a little bit. Because to give a little context of what the game itself is about, essentially, and this is, I could be wrong about some of the details, but we only know the trailer, so bear with me. I believe that some of the humans were kind of enslaved by this company, and kind of turned into androids. And you know that they're androids because they have like two blue circles on the sides of their heads. Well, the main character in this game, I believe that you play, has kind of broken free of being an android and is now trying to free other humans, and then kind of trying to start an uprising against this company who is basically treating humans like props, or a lot of humans like props. It's not really clear right now if it's all humans or if only some of the humans were enslaved. I'm not too sure about the core details of it yet, but the reason why I bring up Undertale is because part of the game, and I didn't even realize this until after the trailer, was that you can choose to play the game either as a pacifist, you don't have to commit any acts of violence, or you can be violent as much as possible. You choose what path you take, and I love games like that. And I consider myself more on the pacifist side of things anyway in real life. And I love games that kind of give me the opportunity to fight in a way that I would fight. Like in Detroit, I think is a great example of that, especially bringing down people, like these evil people, in the way that you think best, in whatever way you feel is great, choosing that adventure. I just love the concept of that. I don't know if it's coming to PC, but it's essentially, I think, convinced me that I might get a PS4. I think it just looks like a really good game, and I really hope it's like it meets those the bar it has set, personally. But so I'm 100% looking forward to that. Call of Duty World War II is also announced. I'm so over the Call of Duty games. It's too much at this point, but people still love it. Marvel vs. Capcom was an announced trailer. I don't know if I would be into that, but have they had that game before?
Yeah, many times.
I've not heard of it before.
You've never heard of this game, Marvel vs. Capcom?
No, never. What?
Yeah, they've had very many installments, like at least 3 or 4.
Wow, man.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
It's just Marvel superheroes versus Capcom characters.
See, no idea. So
yeah.
that's gonna be.
It's just a fighting game.
Yeah. That's why I assumed. And then they ended their presser with Spider-Man. So there you go. All right, let's get to the main event.
Bethesda.
Oh, we forgot about Bethesda.
Good.
They did.
I'm gonna sum up Bethesda.
Go ahead.
Buy Skyrim for the 7th time. Okay, let's move on.
For the Switch, and you can play as Link.
The fucking 7th different version of Skyrim.
I feel like Minecraft and Skyrim are now hand in hand in how much they are shown at conferences now.
Yeah. Because Bethesda isn't making anything else, so.
Yeah, Wolfenstein people are excited about. Evil Within looks like a weird sperm fest. And that's about it. Yeah.
All right. Nintendo.
Nintendo. You could take this away. You could go ahead if you want to recap this if you like.
All right, so I might not get the order exactly right, but right away they and I'm gonna start with immediately what they said, but right away they just did a Switch trailer, more for the console like they've done recently, and it showed off some stuff that we knew about, but also some third party stuff getting third party support for this console is huge because the Wii U had none. You had Rocket League, you had FIFA, and Rocket League can be played cross-platform. That was really cool to see. They went into Xenoblade Chronicles 2, which is a story-driven game similar to the first Xenoblade Chronicles rather than exploration like X was. The music was awesome in that trailer. I fucking love the Xenoblade composer. It's so pretty, but the story left me really, really confused.
I was gonna say,
just the trailer.
Did you play the original Xenoblade Chronicles?
Yeah, I own it, and I saw a Let's Play of it, but I haven't been in myself. But I saw a Let's Play, and I know the story for it.
Okay, and you said that left you confused.
No, the story for Xenoblade Chronicles 2 left me confused.
Oh, okay, because we don't know much yet.
Yeah, but the trailer was just like, the girl is a sword.
Well, you know what was really weird about that? I could be wrong, and you could correct me. The very first scene, they're in the meadow, right? And it's the girl and the guy. Where was he touching that gem that was glowing?
Moving on.
I know. I seriously. Can we
I don't
adjust
know
this?
either.
Because I thought it was
Moving
the
on.
breasts. I thought it was the breasts. Okay, go ahead. Continue.
Okay.
That was weird.
There's a new Fire Emblem. It was Fire Emblem Warriors, which basically all of the Fire Emblem characters are coming together for one big party, and it's going to be a clusterfuck of a story. Like if it was like, it's not like, from what I could tell, it was a new Fire Emblem game, and it wasn't like Hyrule Warriors, which is just Dynasty Warriors with Zelda skin. Like that would make sense. This looks like a new game where all the different realms are gonna like come together, and I think it's just gonna be a huge clusterfuck, and only true Fire Emblem fans are gonna enjoy it.
Yeah.
Because the series went downhill from Awakening.
Yeah.
Whoa, did I say that? Oops.
Well, yeah. You and I were talking about this, and I brought up Fire Emblem as a potential game announcement. You're like, they just came out with a Fire Emblem.
Yeah, they did, and I didn't think they were gonna announce a new one. So
there you go.
They showed a bit of Splatoon 2 in the opener. We already know enough about that, so I wasn't that surprised. There was a new Kirby game that was announced for 2018, and like Kirby's been in the series for a while. That looked like a lot of fun.
My second favorite Nintendo series is Kirby. And I love it to death. There are plenty of Kirby games that I actually own that I have yet to complete, and I need to because there's sometimes where I start playing and I'm just like, I don't know, maybe I don't want to try it, but then there's times where I'm just flowing. I love it. It's both adorable, but it's Kirby. It's hard to say. It's just Kirby. Go ahead.
There was a new Yoshi game in the really artsy style that was kind of in the vein of Woolly World, where you could like switch the camera both ways in a 2D platformer, which was a cool gimmick, but it's probably going to be about as successful as Woolly World, I think.
It reminded me of Super Paper Mario.
Yeah.
When you kind of switch between the 2D and
2D and 3D.
Yeah.
The one huge announcement that I think got the most attention, honestly, was the fact that Metroid Prime 4 was announced. Which, like, Metroid has been practically a dead series since Other M, which was a really shitty game. So Metroid Prime 4 being announced was like a cool change that people really liked.
Yeah.
And that was good. That was a good thing. And then the Pokemon Company did a quick thing to just talk about Pokemon Tournament DX. Which I'm probably gonna get because I have Pokken and I like it a lot. And being on the Switch might make it more competitively useful.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. And then they also said that a main series Pokemon RPG was in development for the Switch, which kind of like when they announced Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon last week. Everyone was kind of like, why didn't we get a Pokemon game on the Switch? Because they didn't start fucking making it yet, you dinguses. The Switch has been out for 3 months. They don't have the technology to make a game on the Switch yet. Give them some time.
Yeah, you and I, we had some discussions about this possibly them announcing a future Pokemon game for the Switch, and that was kind of expected, but I didn't expect them to actually bring it up as soon as they did. But that was that was nice to know that it was coming out.
They're like, hey, it's in development. Just give us some fucking time, you vultures.
Well, people get really impatient, but I need to follow my own advice sometimes too. But you just enjoy the games that you have. At least you have all these games coming out. Because if you didn't, then especially for Nintendo, who has struggled in the past few years, you want these guys to be coming out with games, and they are doing so.
The Pokemon fandom especially is just like, I want this exactly this way, and if it's not, I'm gonna yell and scream.
Right, and before we move on, do you it's just the one game that we have left, right? The Super Mario Odyssey.
Yeah, that's the last thing I was going to talk about.
Okay, the one I wanted just to go back to Metroid real quick. After the presentation, they announced Metroid Samus's Return, which I believe is a remake or a remaster.
Remake of Metroid 2.
Okay, because
it's actually funny because there was like a fan project that was called Another Metroid 2 Remake. That like a fan group made. uh, and Nintendo like took it down, sent them a cease and desist essentially. Even though like Metroid felt essentially like a dead series at that point, so they were kind of like, "Why do you care?" And then like everyone who like was involved in that or knew what it was, as soon as that Samus's return was announced, was like, "Oh, that's why."
Yeah, there you go. So
Yeah,
I don't blame them. You know, you have this opportunity. You have this opportunity to just go ahead and make a quick little fan game.
yeah.
But you don't expect that's actually going to be a real game by
Yeah,
Nintendo.
there's another note on that I want to talk to you about later.
Oh, okay, so
Yeah.
yeah, the but the main event for me and my favorite game of E3 thus far, Gocubs, take it away.
All right, so Super Mario Odyssey was announced when the Switch was announced, and at another direct a bit later on. It's coming out in October, which is fucking awesome.
Yeah, I love that. That was I
I'm
wasn't
I'm
expecting
gonna be
that.
really busy that weekend, but
Who cares? You know, just
yeah,
no, just drop it.
actually I'm 90% certain that's homecoming weekend for me. So like,
Whoops. Got
yeah,
yeah. You know what? Just get someone else. Fill it in.
nope, can't do that.
Yeah. Steal your brother.
Nope,
Bring him
he
over.
can't march. Anyways, uh, uh, so they showed it off. It's very it's a very realistic world. The the main thing that they showed off in that trailer was Mario possessing a lot of things, like a Goomba and other enemies, and like a person on the street. And the most gruesome thing I've ever seen in a Mario game, just him like possessing this dude walking down the street.
Sucked it.
Like,
Oh, the amount of memes. People were
oh,
like, Mario's becoming a demon. Like, it was amazing.
the highlight of the trailer for me though was the music, and the reason for that is, one, it was sung by like it was technically supposed to be sung by Pauline, who is the woman that you rescue in Donkey Kong,
Wow. There you
and
go.
she's actually making a return to the series, which is really wild.
There you go.
Yeah, and the song itself was really cool and jazzy, and that makes me really happy. If the entire soundtrack is going to be like that, or at least most of it, the 3D World and Mario Kart 8 had phenomenal soundtracks. Some of my favorites, and I would actually say that I like 3D World soundtrack more than I like Galaxy's soundtrack.
Yeah.
And that's coming from a classical musician. Uh,
Yeah. Absolutely.
but I think that's great just for the soundtrack aspect of the game, and I'm super excited for that.
Yeah. I looked at this game and was uh I was taken when they first talked about this game back in February, I believe it was when they first announced it.
Uh,
Um I was like, all right, this is interesting. I don't know. This seems like it's a little weird to me. But they found a way in this trailer to make it really look awesome. And I had a friend of mine told me that, well, that's a little, Super Mario Odyssey seems a little bit weird. I'm just like, I like it because Mario as a whole, you know, they've been trying different things over the course of the past few years, especially with their 3D games. Um, I enjoy the fact that they're doing something completely out of the ordinary that you would not expect out of a Mario game, but it looks amazing. It looks like the story is going to be fun as well. Especially, I guess, the finale where it looks like there's a wedding happening. They have wedding amiibo coming out for it. I
dude,
am
that Bowser amiibo looks really really cool.
I love it. I think I am so hyped about this game because I think it's gonna be this new Mario experience that I've never seen it happen before. They've done all these other 3D exploration games with Mario, but nothing like this before. almost like he's exploring Earth for the first time, because for as long as we knew they lived in this other galaxy, I guess, in this other world, the mushroom kingdom world, I guess, but they never really lived on Earth, and this is the first time that we kind of see that, like in New York, New Donk City.
New Donk City.
What some like he it looks like he goes to Mexico at one point. I think Japan was on there too. I could be wrong about that, but there was like all these little fancy places that he was going to that we could identify as actual countries and cities that we know in our Earth, and it was so amazing. I loved it. I said when I was texting Gocubs about it. I know it's a bold claim to say, but I think it might. It seems like it could be better than all the other 3D games combined. It just seems that amazing to me. Now I don't want to get too hyped because it could be a letdown, but it really feels like it has that potential to go above and beyond, especially with its story.
Yeah.
But yeah, that Super Mario Odyssey coming October 27th. I hopefully will have my Switch by then. I'm gonna probably
please.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah, no, I will. I go ahead if you will.
All right, yeah. One more thing. This wasn't announced at any of the press conferences, but I did want to bring it up just because we're both into it. A physical release of Undertale was announced for both PC and PS4.
Oh yes, that's right.
Yeah, with like a special locket that, according to my friend, is like a little music box.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
awesome.
which I think plays like the little bum 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 bum.
Yeah, like the little piano thing that you have to do.
Yeah. Speaking of themes, fucking in the Mario Odyssey song, there was part of the melody, and that was like da 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 in that song, which is the fucking Animal Crossing theme.
Yes.
It didn't announce Animal Crossing.
Yeah, well, I was about to talk about that, but the thing I want to say, Undertale. I think that's gonna be exciting. They also announced a remake of Superstar Saga, Mario and Luigi.
Yeah,
I thought that could be very interesting as well. I enjoyed Superstar Saga personally, but they also announced like a little side story to it as well that's coming along with it. It was Superstar Saga plus Bowser's Minions. So we'll see if that's gonna be any good. The thing about Animal Crossing, I initially was really, I really wanted. I think we all wanted to see an Animal Crossing Switch, even though they didn't hint at it. It didn't seem like it was going to be coming at all. But I think there was a lot of us that really wanted one. I saw a lot of major YouTubers, to my closest friends, who wanted to see an Animal Crossing, and unfortunately, not only did we not get that, we didn't even get any word about the mobile game that's reportedly being worked on by Nintendo. But regardless of that, I was at first a little disappointed, but I then got over it because I've been playing a lot of New Leaf. New Leaf is still fresh. It's still a lot of fun. I'm enjoying it. I'm gonna try to play it for a whole year, and if that year will take me all the way up until E3 again, where they will hopefully announce a new Animal Crossing then. And
they don't have to announce it at E3 too. That's the thing.
That's true. Nintendo does.
E3 is not the only time to announce games, and Nintendo has never only announced games at E3. So,
and I think that's a good point too. They do directs throughout the year. They kind of, I felt like they did slow down on those after Iwata died, because that was his creation, a lot of it.
Yeah.
But I think that I'm hoping that they continue with that, and that they do announce an Animal Crossing game within the next year. Hopefully, it would be really nice. And a lot of that comes from me. You know, one, it's my favorite video game series of all time. B, or two, I don't know what it's letters there. I saw on Mario Kart 8 the Animal Crossing stage, and it was the first time that in a while that I actually was like, wow, I might actually care about the way a game looks for the first time. But the way that stage looked, if the way that looked could be what Animal Crossing the Switch version looked like, I will shit my pants. I'll be so happy.
Yeah.
That's a little messy. I apologize.
Here's the thing: Animal Crossing is simple enough. The map isn't that big. The characters don't really like move around that much, so there's a lot of room to just make it really fucking pretty.
I absolutely, and I think they have a great potential for that. I think they could really make it like the buildings even bigger. You know, I think they can make the trees bigger. I think they could. There's a lot. I feel like they can. I'm like, the big word for me, I guess, is make it bigger. Make it make it like a fun town at the same time. You know, there's a lot that I think they could do with that. They could fail at it, but they kicked ass with New Leaf. It would be a shock if they really blew it with the next Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
But we could put that aside. Animal Crossing fans, I know your pain, but I'm no longer disappointed that they didn't announce it. I'm hyped about the games they announced, and I think that we can wait a little bit more. Play some New Leaf. New Leaf is good. That's a good game. Odyssey, seriously, is it's one of those games where I kind of do want to buy it immediately when it comes out. And it's been a while since I've done that, but I honestly am thinking about that.
I was about to make fun of you for you're gonna buy the Animal Crossing but not the console, but for a solid 2 weeks I had Breath of the Wild but no Switch.
Well, excuse me. I probably will have the Switch in the next few months. I've been waiting for a lot of games to come out, but it sounds like there's a lot more hype behind some of the games that are becoming. So, the Switch is coming up the rear. But yeah, I don't think there's really. Oh, I did want to make one last note, and there was another presentation that was that happened, which was the Devolver Digital presentation. And I don't know if you've ever heard of them, Gocubs, but for those who have watched my channel, the Not a Hero is by Devolver Digital, or at least came from that same studio. They had I think it was the first time they had a presentation of some kind, but it was at 1 a.m. for me, Eastern time, and I didn't watch it live. I watched it afterwards. Holy shit. They did the best parody of a press conference I have ever seen. Very gory, because they literally bring there's like this main woman spokesperson that comes on stage, and she's like really intense and telling people to shut the fuck up, like she's actually cursing to people, and she's like keeps on using the same words all over and over again: innovative, future, you know, and just completely like making fun of it all. At one point, they had like demonstrations on stage where they bring on like a computer, they get a volunteer, quote unquote, from the audience, and they have this payment method where they say, now you can literally throw money into the screen in order to buy games. And so the guy starts throwing money into the screen, and then he sticks his whole hand in the screen, and then all of a sudden he like loses his arm. It's like blood squirting everywhere. Like the assistant that brought out the computer is just covered in blood, but it's like smiling the whole time. It was sadistic as shit. I'm not gonna say anything more. I highly recommend anyone go out to watch it. I think it was only like 15 minutes long. I don't think it was even that long. It was hilarious. But just warning, it's very bloody, gory, and vomit is involved in it as well at some point, and it's a little maybe a little seizure inducing at times as well. So just a warning out there. But it was fantastic. It was a great parody of it all, because I tend to find conferences nauseating at times when they do the same fucking language over and over again. It's ridiculous. Any last words? Any other games or any other thoughts on E3 in general?
Not really. I'm definitely like a lot. I feel a lot less hype, and I just like at this point I just know the games that I'm gonna buy this year. Like I'm gonna get Splatoon, Mario Odyssey, and Ultra Sun, and that's about it.
Yeah, I I feel like overall, I hate talking about who won E3 because I think we all won. We got games.
Yeah.
Coming up the to all of us to play, and I really I think if you had to look at it from the broad standpoint, I think Microsoft won in the sense of they had a great console announced, and if people aren't fooled by the name and actually look into it and really want to play this 4K system, want to experience things in 4K, Microsoft won in that sense. I think Sony, they had a lot of great titles that they announced for the first time that people are going to be enjoying. But I also think Nintendo did the same thing. I think they announced some great titles. I felt personally, if I had to pick a company, I would go with Nintendo, but that's just because I love Nintendo's games in general. But I think I don't think that there was one horrible conference other than maybe Bethesda.
Right.
I think everyone. I think Ubisoft even did a great job this year. I think people have been saying it's been like a meh E3 overall, but I also don't think any of the companies really embarrassed themselves either.
Nah.
Yeah, I think everyone kind of did their own thing. Nintendo, luckily, I was glad Nintendo avoided embarrassing themselves because they had a few years where they were like, oh god, Nintendo, don't do this. They remember those Muppets. I will forever remember those Muppets. But anyways, guys,
The Robot Chicken one though was fantastic.
that was interesting.
All right. My last words are 14-3.
Okay. I have an idea of what that means, but I don't want to ask. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. Be good to one another, be kind to one another, and we'll see you guys in the next podcast in the near future. Maybe talk about Big Brother. Bye bye.
Yeah.